Right. So our bumper needs a lot of work. It's not in very good condition at all. But what we're first going to do is we're going to strip everything that we don't need from the bumper. So we're going to strip the badges, the side lights. We're going to try to take we're going to try to remove the internal brackets, try to clean up the metal front bar on the bumper. What will probably end up happening, turn it like that. This bar here, I'm probably going to end up grinding down this edge and leaving it, and then buy some sheet metal, and we'll extend this to wherever we need to match the Mark II front end. But we'll come to that when we get there. Alright, so we're going to start by taking that center badge off of the front bumper. Now we're going to move on to our side lights. Side lights are held in by 2 Phillips screws. That's our side lights removed. We're now going to remove all the clips that hold these screws in. So there's just a little plastic circlip. You just kind of pull them out and they pull off. You might need a flathead screwdriver just to help assist you get it out. To start off with, the bracket that kind of holds the car to the inner fender, we had to cut because they were so rusty we couldn't get them out, so we're going to have to ground those back. The bolts that bolt the fender through, there's a plate through here. That plate was completely rotten, so I had to cut those as well. Our top plate is also rotten that we're probably going to have to replace, but we'll come to that when we come to that. Our bottom mounts that hold the underguard to the bumper, they were also damaged, so I ended up cutting through the plastic, and then I'm going to have to get those off the bumper as well. We're going to start by removing our inner plastics here and get those out, so I can give the bumper a good clean before we start putting everything back together. We're also going to have to work out if that's even savable, or we're going to have to replace that. I may end up just replacing that completely. But that's our brackets out. I mean, our brackets were well and truly rotten. We're gonna keep the clips, but the rest of it will go in the bin. I might, for the time being, to test fit the bumper, we might just kind of nut and bolt it through the wing, and then try it on as one piece. So bolt the wing through, nut and bolt, nut and bolt, nut and bolt, and then we can try the whole front end on as one piece, get it all lined up. This front line bracket we have sitting on the top here, we're going to remove that because it's completely rotten. We're going to need a new one. Right, I'm struggling to remove this. However, I've looked online, I found out you can still buy these. So we're going to take the angle grinder and we're just going to grind the heads of the bolts down until we can basically peel this away from the bumper. Right. That looks to be our plate removed. We're now going to go in there, see if we can open it up to get the bottom plate off. Right, so we stripped our bumper completely of all its components. We now need to start sanding our bumper. the bumper is really bad, so I'm gonna start with 180 grit, even though it's a plastic, to basically try to get as much crap off this bumper as possible. And then we're gonna work our way up the grades to make the plastic a little bit nicer. Right, that's our bumper all sanded down. We're gonna wipe it off now with a bit of prep cleaner. We've got 2 holes to fill. So if we come and look above here, we've got 2 holes where the badge was that we're gonna have to skim with a bit of filler and fill in. We'll use some plastic filler so this doesn't crack in the future. Right, we're gonna start building primer on this. We're gonna use plastic primer because we're using a plastic bumper. We're going to start priming these areas first to build them up so we can see how bad our low spots are, to make it easier to blend the bumper. So we're going to give our can a shake and then we're just going to get spraying. Okay, that's our first coat. We're going to let that dry and then kind of see where we are. You can see on the top already where our bad spots are. Everywhere else is covered actually quite nicely already. But that center spot is quite bad. We are probably going to have to skim that whole center with filler. I'm going to give it a couple more coats of primer to see how well we can fill it. But it's not too bad. But the bumper, it does need a lot of work, and we did know this. Right, we're going to apply some filler to our bumper to get rid of the center holes and just to smooth out this top half. I'm going to go in there and sand it a little bit, just to see if that helps us get any of our lines out. Alright. Most automotive fillers that you find are going to be a 2-part filler. They're going to be an actual filler itself and then a hardener. You basically mix them together. You also do get fillers for different things. This is a plastic filler I'm using. You can get metal fillers that actually have like a metal grain in. You can get industrial body fillers that are really good for shaping cars, but we're going to use this for this method. I'm going to apply this on here, like so. I'm going to put the cap back on. I'm going to open up our hardener. You don't have to put too much in, it depends on your environment, but a little bit in is usually enough. And put that in. And you're going to take this and you're going to mix it. So you're going to go and you're going to mix this until they're one uniform colour. Let's put that out. Alright. Okay. And now we're going to fill our panel. To get the holes, we're going to kind of go and press in at an angle and then push down. So I'm going to go like so. Like so. And then to get these holes, we're going to Right, our filler's dry. We're now going to sand it back and then see how close we are with the panel. So we're just going to give ourselves a light sand. Right, that's our panel prepped again. We're going to dust this with filler again, with primer again, to see how far off we are, and then we might put another coat of filler if needed, but I just want to see how far off we are. Hey guys, so we've now filled our holes in on our bumper. So I'll show you those. And we've filled those in, and then we've given it another prime on top with the plastic primer. We're now going to give the whole panel a Scotch-Brite, and then we're going to cover it with a filler primer. Right, we're now going to apply our filler primer. Again, we're going to work this on. Right, we're going to let that dry, and we're going to give it 2 more coats. Right, that's our bumper prepped already for paint. I didn't show you all the stages on this. Reasoning for that is if you watched the previous video when I did the headlight covers, most of the stages were in there. But I'll take you through what I did anyway. We started off with a plastic primer to cover the panel, obviously, because we're working on a plastic panel, and then from there we let that dry, and then we filled in all our holes in our panel because we had various holes from where the bumper mounts bumped up. We had the badge that was in the center, so we filled those in, sanded those back. We then covered the panel in a high build primer. I let that dry, then did a little bit of sanding, checked the panel, any issues I kind of had, I went back and filled in again. I then used a white primer. I wasn't completely happy with it, so I went in with the gray, but I ran out of the white primer. It's not a huge deal, but I would have preferred it to be like one uniform color. But what we're going to do, we're going to start dusting it with paint now. So we'll shake our can up. We'll give it a light dust. Exactly the same process we did in the headlight cover video. Not much differs here. It's just a bigger panel. Right, we're now going to apply our second coat. We've left the first coat for about half an hour to dry. Right, we're now going to paint our top section again. This would be our third coat. Just going to get a torch out so I can kind of have a look closely. We're now going to apply our lacquer. First coat we're going to put on as a dust. I'm now going to take my torch out to do the lower level. As at the moment the garage I'm in is kind of dark, the lighting's not the best. So we can see the top really well, but we can't really see the bottom too well. And I don't want to overspray it, so I'm going to use my phone torch to kind of shine light on the panel so you can see. Right, we're going to put one more coat on the top, kind of in the center section. It's come out really good, but I just want to cover it a little bit more because it's a little bit patchy right in the middle. Right, we're going to leave that to cure now overnight because we sprayed that very heavy. But that will give you a look on the finish. We've actually covered it really nicely now. Still a few imperfections in it, but in the end of the day, yeah, it is aerosol. It's never going to be perfect, but that is not a bad job, to be honest with you.